Good morning. Today we are going to start section P6 on angles. We spent a little bit of time this year looking at angles. We spent a lot of time on right angles, 90-degree angles in regards to perpendicular lines. And we have looked at angles in other scenarios. Today we're going to look at several terms and definitions just to get familiar with angles. These are things you may have seen before, but we're just going to take a look at them. Okay, so first thing, acute angles. Okay, so an acute angle has a measurement between 0 and 90 degrees. So to find the measurement, we look at the degrees that are formed between the two rays. Okay, so the measurement for angle A has to be greater than 0 degrees, but less than 90 degrees. Okay, so the measure of angle A has to be less than 90, but greater than 0. Now, right angles has a measurement of exactly 90 degrees. So to signify that something has a right angle or 90 degrees, we use this box here. And the measure of angle A equals 90 degrees. Now notice here, we don't use less than or equal to 90, specifically less than. That is because right here, the measure of angle A, if it equals 90, it's going to be a right angle. Okay. Now, obtuse angles. Obtuse angles have a measurement between 90 and 180 degrees. Okay, so this measurement of angle A is either going to be greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. Sorry, the measure of angle A is going to be greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. Okay. So notice, the acute angle is the smaller one, the right angle is right in the middle, and obtuse is the bigger one. Now, the last type of angle we're going to look at is a straight angle. Okay. A straight angle has a measurement of exactly 180 degrees. That flat line forms an angle of 180 degrees. Okay. Now, we're going to continue on with our angles. What we're going to look at next is congruent angles. Congruent angles are two angles with the same measure. The congruent symbol has two figures that are the equal sign in length and the squiggly line similar in shape. Okay, so what that means is this measurement right here, the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B are going to be the same. Now, notice right here. What this is telling us is the degrees of both these angles are the same. Now, these are two different angles. This is angle A and this is angle B. So that's where the squiggly line comes in. Similar shape, and the equal sign tells us the degrees are the same. Two different angles that share the same measurement. Okay, next we have vertical angles. Vertical angles are two angles whose sides are opposite rays. Vertical angles are congruent. Let me say that again. Vertical angles are two angles whose sides are opposite rays. Vertical angles are congruent. So I'm going to show us which of these angles are vertical angles. Okay, so I think of them as being opposite. Okay, so angle 3 and angle 4 are vertical angles. And what this tells us is that vertical angles are congruent. So these two measurements are the same. The measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2 are the same. So when two lines intersect, the opposite angles are congruent. Okay. Next we have adjacent angles. Two coplanar angles with a common side, a common vertex, and no common interior points. So adjacent angles are two angles that are right next to each other that share a common side and vertex. So they share this common side right here, and they share this common vertex right there. Same with this other angle. They share this side, and they share this common vertex. Okay, so adjacent angles are two angles that are basically right next to each other. Okay, share a common side and share a common vertex. Okay, and the last two angles we're going to look at: complementary angles. Two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. Each angle is called a complement of the other. So we have angle 1 and we have angle 2. Complementary angles tell us that if we add these two measurements together, we get 90 degrees. Same with angle A and angle B. Should equal 90 degrees. And if we look, 50 degrees plus 40 degrees does equal 90 degrees. Okay. Supplementary angles. Two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. Each angle is called the supplement of the other, also known as a linear pair. Okay. So, measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 4 will equal 180 degrees. So if we look at this example right here, 75 degrees plus 105 degrees does equal 180 degrees. They are a linear pair. Now, if we look right here, right, scroll up, a straight angle has a measurement of exactly 180 degrees. This is a line right there. That's how we get linear pair. Together form a line. Okay. I hope this helps. Again, make sure to ask me any questions that come up. Also, make sure the schedule is changing this week. I'll probably send out another video